In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can send any video or web article into Tana and with one click have AI instantly tell you if it's worth your attention to watch. The problem that most of us have these days is we are drowning in content. I don't know about you, but I have piles of unwatched and unread videos and articles in countless systems, and it's not getting any better. Information is speeding up, not slowing down. So I built an AI agent that acts like my personal content filter. It lets me know what's worth my time and then gives me the cliff notes on things that I should be ignoring. I'm Ev, and I've spent years building intelligent Tana workspaces for knowledge professionals, and this workflow is exactly how we solve the content overload problem. So today I'm going to walk you through the full workflow. Firstly, I'll show you how to use Relay to pull in your video transcripts and web articles directly into Tana, and then I'm going to show you 3 smart prompts that act like your personal research assistant that knows what's important and interesting to you. Once you set this up, you will never feel guilty again about saving a video or article to your watch or read later lists. But before we jump in, if you don't have time to watch endless YouTube tutorials and you just want to build a high-performing digital workspace that works harder than you do, then check out my Tana Fast Track course. It will get you up and running in Tana fast. First, you'll learn all the fundamentals in just over an hour. Next, you'll choose from our 6 core workflow templates that are simple, plug and play. There's not 86 super tags to deal with. You choose what templates you need to customize your workflows. And we also have our TFT community to ask questions, get direct help from me, plus a load of other resources. Almost 700 people have already taken Tana Fast Track and loved it. So if you want to get on the Fast Track, I'll leave a link in the description below. All right, so for this workflow, you are going to need 2 things. In Tana, you're going to need a super tag that holds these bookmarks, okay? Mine is called bookmarked. You might already have a super tag called source or something like that. You want to go ahead and create a super tag that can hold these bookmarks. All you need at this point is to have 2 fields, one called URL and one called transcript. So if I open this up, you'll see I have these 2 here, one that holds the URL of either the YouTube or the article that I want to bring in, and the second one is the transcript that is going to be brought in, okay? Really simple. The second thing that you're going to need is a Relay.app account. Relay is an automation platform that allows you to connect to Tana through the API command, which I'm going to show you how to set up, and then make all sorts of things happen. So today, what we're going to have it do is go to YouTube, grab the transcript and bring it back into Tana, or go to a website, scrape the content and bring it back into Tana. But once you kind of understand this workflow, that it opens up so many new possibilities, because you can then kind of trigger something in Tana, send it over to Relay. Relay has all of these apps. You can connect it to LinkedIn, you can connect it to your CRM, task managers, all of that kind of thing, and then bring things back into Tana, okay? Now, this is very similar to platforms like Make.com, Zapier, N8N. I use Relay because I think it is the easiest one to set up anything. I have found it so easy. I love using it. Not affiliated at all, but I really love the platform. It's also really good on pricing. So for something like this, if you're just, grabbing transcripts and that kind of thing, it's $19 a month. You get 5,000 free AI credits, which I found, for things like this, very, very easy. You might want to, go up levels as you start to see like, oh my gosh, I can use it for all this stuff. But $19, pretty good. Now, if you have tried to use the get YouTube transcript command already that's built into Tana, you might have realized it's not working. So this is my little workaround for that. And I like this even a little bit better because I can grab not just YouTube transcripts, but also articles from websites and kind of, all sorts of other things. Okay. So what you want to go ahead and do first is we want to set up what we call a webhook in Relay, and then we're going to set up our command to kind of send things over to that webhook. So once you sign up to Relay, you want to come to your workflow section and you want to go to new workflow, okay? And then we can close this up here. We're going to call this get transcript into Tana. Okay, so just give it a name, and you want to add this trigger here, and you're going to come down here to webhook. All right, now what happens is you get this URL, and that's what we want to grab. Okay, and if we come back over here you're going to come into your bookmark or whatever super tag that you want to put this onto, and you're going to come into AI and commands, and I'm going to come down here to get transcript. All right. Now, what you want to add is the make API request transcript. Max bigger. Okay, so if I was to come here, I'd be doing this: get transcript, convert it to a command, and then within here, I want to go at make API request. All right, and this is what we're doing. We're making an API request over to Relay. And then you just want to paste that URL that we just created in here. Okay, and that is, it's going to send this off to that URL, and then things are going to happen. Okay, now if I open up this configuration, there's a few things that we want to kind of configure in this API request. Okay, so we want the method to be post. So you're just coming down here, just put your cursor in at the end of URL and press enter, and then go shift period to create a new field. And we want this one to be API method. Okay, and it's going to be post. So we want to post this over there. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is we want to put this payload in. Okay, this is really important. So we want a payload field. And you really have to understand this, okay? But all that is happening here is we're sending over to Relay the URL field, okay? We want the URL to go over to Relay so that it grabs that and then it can send things back, all right? If we don't have this, it won't, it's just sending something empty, okay? So it's really important, okay? So then we want to add a target node, which is going to be transcript, okay? So target node. Because when it comes back, we want the transcript to go into this transcript field. Okay, and then these here, now these are important for when things come back in. So we want to create a pass result. Oops. New field, pass result. And we're just going to go HTML to Tana paste. So Relay is going to send us something back in HTML, and Tana is going to turn that HTML into Tana paste so it looks nice. Okay. And then the last one is this prompt. And this, all this is doing is telling Tana how we want the whatever comes back to be outputted. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. Okay, that's the whole command. Okay, and you don't really have to kind of understand too much to make this work. You just have to copy it. Okay, so once you have done that, what we then want to do is now I'm gonna just go to, just so we don't get confused with get transcript 1, all right, because this is an important step. So now what we need to do is configure Relay so that it understands that what's coming in is the URL. So to do that, you just press configure automatically, and this will show up. And basically what Relay is doing is it's waiting for something to trigger the webhook. So if you come back over here, all you have to do is come back and run your transcript. Okay, and what will happen is you'll see something pop up here as it runs. Okay, so this has now popped up, and you should see this happen: payload, JSON object, URL, and you just want to go save. All right, so all that is doing is making sure that Relay knows that a URL is coming through, and then we press done. Okay, now nothing will come over here except this status inferred parameters, and you can just delete that. Okay, so that is the actual command setup. Now we want to go over and we want to set up our Relay automation so that we get the transcript in. So there's a few steps involved to get this running. So to create steps in Relay, all you have to do is press this plus button, and then it comes up here with all these kinds of steps. So these are kind of like built-in utilities. And then down here's all kinds of connected apps, okay? And like I said, there's a lot of different apps that you can add in here, okay? So if you've got, you know, things like Asana or like tasks, CRMs, like all of that kind of thing, it's all in here. And once you start to understand how to kind of put these automations together, you can make anything happen. So what we want to do here is the first thing that we want to do is we want to create an extract with AI step that basically extracts the URL for us. Okay, so even though it's coming in here, we just want to make sure that the URL is the only thing that we're getting. So first things first is you want to come to AI, okay? And the great thing about Relay is that AI is an integrated part of this. So it's really easy to do stuff like this. So you want to just come here and go extract we want to kind of tell Relay where we want the data to be extracted from. So it's this webhook. And then all we have to do here is just go extract the URL. That's all you have to do. It's like such a simple prompt. I use just a normal kind of Gemini for this. You could use GPT if you want. Don't use Claude, it's too expensive for something like that. What you'll see on this side is a field will then be generated called URL, and that is exactly what we want, okay? One of the things I love about Relay is that it, just like Tana, it can take unstructured information and turn it into really structured information. So what it's doing here is it's basically just taking kind of, you know, whatever we've sent it from Tana, and it's extracting something into a field called URL. Okay. Now I've got heaps of other automations that actually take very unstructured things and break them up into different fields that then I can use in different ways in the workflow. But for this one, it's pretty simple. Okay. We're going to just then press done. Now I'm just going to delete this, so that I don't wreck this workflow, but it's exactly what you see here, okay? Now we're going to be a little bit tricky on this one, and we're going to set up a path step. So that means that if the URL has YouTube in it, it knows that it's a transcript. It's going to send it over to be transcribed. But if it's not, it knows it's an article, and it's instead going to scrape the contents of that web page. All right. Now, this is also pretty easy to add in. Okay. So you come here and you go to, usually I just go path. Okay. And then you just put a rule in. Okay. So, and what I've done is I just go here and grab the URL and I say contains YouTube. All right. So if something contains YouTube, it's going path A, right? This one. And then if I pop over to path B, it just goes follow this path when no other path is matching. Okay, so really easy to kind of like put multiple paths in, and that way we can easily run this. All right, then what we want to do is inside path A, we're going to use the YouTube video transcript URL step. Okay, so if I come in here and go, just type in YouTube, okay, I can get the YouTube video transcript. All right, this is built in. It does use AI credits. I found it, you know, pretty good. Okay, so once you do that, you select the URL that you want. So you want to go extract with AI URL, and that grabs the URL for you. Okay, and that's exactly what's kind of in here. And then what you want to do is we want to create a step that is respond to the webhook. So this basically sends it back into Tana so that we get the webhook. So this is a basic, if you go webhook, you go respond to webhook, and that's what you get in here. Okay. And in here, you want to just configure it so it's responding to this step 1. Okay. We want it to respond with HTML. So remember when we were over in here and I said this pass result is HTML to Tana paste? That's why. And then in here, what you want to do is you want to put the response. What are we sending back in? And that is our YouTube transcript. So we come here, we go transcript, and we just go here, transcript, okay, and then go done. And then once that's done, all you have to do is press publish. And that will get our transcript. All right, so for this one in particular, remember I've got a URL in here already, and all I'm going to do is go get transcript, and you'll see that this starts running, and in a very short amount of time, you'll start to see the transcript come in. Here we go, right? And then we'll just process. Now, I usually keep this transcript field hidden by default. So if you come up to your transcript field, just click on that little icon next to it. And in the hide field, just go always, right? And it just means that then the transcript is kind of always hidden. And then you'll just see this happening until it finishes. There we go. And now I've got the full transcript. Now you notice it doesn't have timestamps, but that's okay for now. And if I just go like that, it gets hidden again, right? So that's a video transcript. But what we can also do, because we're using Relay, is we can get the contents of a web page. So I've got another one here with the URL that is from my own website. Okay, so not YouTube. And when we come over here, this is why I also have the B option for this path. So what you can do here is rather than have the YouTube transcript, we can use the scrape content step to get the contents of the website. So to do that, you can come in here to web scraping, and you want to come down to scrape content from website. Again, we want to go to extract with AI and grab the URL. Okay. And that's going to grab that URL, send it off, and then get the contents of the website back to us. Okay, so let me just delete that. And then again, you want to add this respond to webhook call. So on this one, we're doing get YouTube video transcript by URL, respond to webhook. This one, scrape content from URL, respond to webhook. All right, quickly publish that one. And then what's going to happen is same thing. When we come over here to the no inbox time method, I just go get transcript, and now it's going to start getting the contents of that web page, which is really cool. All right, here we go. Now it does also input images. So you can see that there's some kind of images there. And the reason I keep those in is because sometimes there are, especially when I write about Tana, is I have like screenshots and that kind of thing. So it's still helpful to kind of have all of those. And it will, grab all of this, and then I'm able to run different AI commands to, help me summarize that and that kind of thing. So this is a very cool method for getting both YouTube transcripts and articles from the internet. Now we've got all the technical parts set up. Now let's move on to the fun part of creating some prompts inside Tana that can work with the transcript. So in particular, I have 3 prompts that I use to help me work out if something is worth me watching. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, there is so much content on the internet, and probably too much for any one of us to kind of watch or read in our lifetime. So it's really important to actually filter the content that you're watching. And a lot of times I'll come up against 20-minute video, 40-minute, an hour, 2-hour video, and I'll be thinking, should I invest my time into this? And so these 3 prompts that I use help me to do that. So I run these ones in particular inside Tana. So once I actually have a transcript, I have 3 of these, which is a video summary, key takeaways, and one that's called worth watching. Okay. And so these just help me to kind of, again, do that filtering. So what you'll need to set these up is, we don't need Relay anymore. Relay just brings in the transcript, or brings in that website. The rest of these run inside Tana, inside normal Tana commands. Okay. So on your same bookmark template, you're going to come to AI commands, and we're going to come back into our menu. Now, by the way, if you want to create a menu like this, all you have to do is, if I come out here, is just call this something. You could call it AI commands. And rather than convert this to a command, we want to go Command K and convert to group. All right. And if we open that up, now we can add commands inside our group, and it creates a little drop down menu. Okay, so I find this handy when I have a lot of different commands. Okay, so we've done our get transcript. Let's add a video summary command. So what you want to do here is really simple, right? This is just a command that uses the Ask AI module and has just a really simple prompt that helps you summarize this. So if you want to set this up yourself, just come in to this command menu, go video summary, convert that to a command, and then type in here Ask AI. And then within here, you're going to add these particular things. So the first one is the prompt. This one's really simple. Give me a brief summary of this content, either a YouTube video or an article. Focus on the main ideas and key takeaways. Skip fillers, intros, and sponsor stuff. Keep it interesting, like an interesting friend is explaining the video to me. Keep it to 2 to 3 sentences. And then what you want to do is you want to add the transcript field. Okay, so really important here. So to do that, all I do is I just come over here to transcript, put my cursor into transcript, copy it, and then paste it over here. Now, the other important thing here is these 3 fields. Okay, so I like to get the output of each of these 3 things into these 3 fields. So to create those fields, you just come up the top to content template and you add these fields here. So you can go new field, call this summary, that kind of thing. Okay, and add the 3 summary, recommendation, and key points. Actually, key points should be up here. Then when you come back down here, okay, so once we got the prompt, we want to add a new field that is called target node and put the summary field in there. So you just come in here, put your cursor anywhere in summary, Command C or Control C to copy, and then paste it in. Then you want to create another field called Insert Output Strategy and choose as child, and then another field for AI model. Now for this one, I found Gemini 2.5 Pro works very well. Claude also can work very well, but it's a little bit more expensive. Okay, so I find that I'm using Gemini quite a lot these days. I really like it. And to create these extra fields, all you have to do is put your cursor at the end of the title of the field before it, press enter, and then shift period, and then just type whichever field that you want to put in there. Okay, so this is a really simple one. So if I run my summary, I just go video summary, and it very quickly kind of creates that summary for me. Now again, you have to already have run the transcript. So obviously it means it's pulling in the transcript. Okay, so you find this interesting. This startup CEO was told by other successful founders, basically this is a video about Zettelkasten and why someone abandoned it and then actually picked it back up again. So really like very quick summary, good overview, right? So I like to kind of get a summary like that. The second one that I have is called key takeaways. So this is really kind of much more expanded video, and I often run this if I'm not going to watch the video itself, okay? Or I might run it as a companion to the video. So I love AI assisted experiences, okay? So I might watch the video, but also have these key takeaways. And as you'll see, it's pretty comprehensive with kind of action items and things I can do and, that kind of thing. So it kind of like is a supplement if I wanted to watch the video. But how this one works is it's very similar. Okay, so it's an Ask AI command, and all I do here is just go duplicate, Command K, duplicate. And then I change this to key takeaways, and then I just update the prompt. Okay, that's all I do here. So if we open up this, it's a little bit more kind of longer prompt. Okay, so you're my research assistant. Your job is to review content for me and extract the key points, takeaways, step-by-step workflows, and any next steps or actions I can take from videos or articles, right? Make sure it's comprehensive, as I will most likely not consume the content myself, so it should make sense even if I don't watch or read. And I like to add this in here just because I like the conversational nature. I don't want to feel dry and boring. I need to be sparked by things. So I often say keep the tone casual and conversational, like an interesting friend explaining something to me, but then I also have to preference that was don't give me fluff, hey there, or I just watched this interesting video. I don't want that stuff. And then again, we add the transcript field in here so it knows and it's sending that transcript off. And then in the target node, we want to just change the target from summary to the key points, okay? And everything else stays the same. So when I run this one, I get the key points of the video. And this is probably one of my favorite. I love seeing these key points kind of come up, right? And this is an excellent video, by the way, that I did end up watching, right? So you kind of come here, it's got kind of key points, why someone stopped using Zettelkasten, the results, the key lessons here, which is really cool, right? And a lot of the times with these, I will actually do things like this. And this is why I love getting this in. So Spark Notes or Sparks are part of my Knowledge Hub template. And I might say, oh, that's really interesting, and send it over to my Knowledge Hub. And then that kind of kicks off a whole process of me kind of exploring ideas, which I love. Okay. And this is why it's so good to actually have these notes come into Tana as well, because now you can connect it into different parts of your workflow. Okay. So really cool prompt, that one. Now, the final prompt that I have, which is also a really fun one, and sometimes I run this one first, right? But basically it's called Worth Watching. And a lot of the times, like I said, I'd be looking through my watch later list on YouTube, and it's is this really worth my time? Do I want to invest the next 20 minutes of my time into watching this video? So what I did was I created this prompt, and again is exactly the same kind of architectural framework, right? So it's just an Ask AI prompt. It's got the prompt. It puts the target node into this recommendation field, and then the prompt looks like this, okay? You are my media consumption advisor. Your job is to help me filter out the signal from the noise of all the content online, right? Today, you're going to review a YouTube video transcript or online article and determine if it's worth me spending the time to watch or read, right? Now, I've got some guidelines here. Now, you might not have these same kind of guidelines. The important thing here is context. I wanted the prompt AI to understand what is important to me when I watch a video. So think about the kinds of videos that you like to watch, and I actually just kind of explained, just turned on voice with ChatGPT, explained the kind of videos I liked, and it put this into a list. So for me, pay special attention if the information provided is just obvious listicle type stuff, or if it truly adds value or some interesting take, right? I'm looking for the interesting takes. right? I don't want obvious stuff. I prefer videos that give step-by-step or workflows. I'm not just random tips, and I'm truly looking for things that spark me. So anything that is just surface level is not really going to be worth it, right? So I kind of tell it like, this is the kind of stuff that is important to me. Then I go into my interests. Okay, so my interests are ranging. I like things that are a little off center once in a while. So if you feel like it might be periphery, then make a judgment call, right? And then I just go into all the different things that I like to watch videos about. Okay, then we go into the format, right? This is the format that I like. So give me a short summary, even though I already have the summary up top. Usually I run this first. Make your recommendation and then list any interesting timestamps that you think that I should skip to, right? I say keep it, TLDR, so short. I don't have a lot of time. No need for commentary. Keep the tone casual and conversational, like you know me. And then I don't have much time to watch videos, so you have to be highly good at your job of separating noise from signal. You can't just recommend everything. What I was finding is it would always be like, yes, you should watch this video. So now it's like, it gives me a really good reason if it thinks I should watch it or not. Okay. Again, you just want to add that transcript in. And what this does is that if we go worth watching, we come down here and we get a recommendation. And I find this the most useful up front, right? I will always run this if I'm unsure if I want to watch a video. Okay, so hey, I reviewed the transcript for you. This video shares the creator's personal experience of stopping Zettelkasten. Recommendation, definitely worth a watch. And then it tells me it's not a typical how-to, but the insights into why PKM works and how to approach it with less perfection are really valuable and can spark some fresh thinking for you. So it understands like, I like workflow videos, but this is why you should actually watch this one. Okay, and then it also gives some interesting timestamps. These timestamps are actually made up because, as you know, we don't get the timestamps in. And the reason I want timestamps is often, it might be an hour-long video and you might be like, oh, I actually want to skip to this part, right? So I find these really interesting. So those are kind of three different things that can, one, filter out the signal from the noise. So you decide whether a video is worth watching or not. You can get a short summary or you can get key points, and those key points you can connect into your knowledge hub. Now, if you wanted to run all three of these together, you could actually do that. So once you've got these, you have to run the transcript separately, okay? So run that separate because it just needs time for the transcript to come in before it then runs these next ones. But then what you can do is you can say, let's say we call this process video, right? Convert to command. All you have to do, and this is really fun, is we can just copy these in so that they all run at the same time. Okay? So let's say I'm here. No inbox Tana method. Already have the content. It's not really a transcript, but it's the content. And then I can come here and I can go process video, and all three of these will process one after the other. Okay. So this is a great way to just like, if you want to do all in one. I tend to not do that. I usually find out if it's worth watching. I then run key takeaways and might do a summary if I need to. Okay. And you can see here, that's all populating, and then it'll give me a recommendation if I should read my own article or not. This article, ironically by you, describes the no inbox capture method in Tana. Definitely worth the read. So you should absolutely go read that on my website. So hopefully you enjoyed this. It's a little bit technical in the beginning, but once you get this up and running, really, really great knowledge workflow. Now, this is the difference between having a content graveyard and having an intelligent system working for you. Because now you're triaging content with AI before you actually invest your time into it. So you don't have to feel guilty about your watch later list. You don't have to feel FOMO that you're missing out on something important. Your system just tells you what matters to you. Now, if you're the kind of person who enjoys AI enhanced learning experiences like this one, then you might like this other video I created about how to build an AI course co-pilot for all those online courses that you keep buying. And don't forget, if you want to build a high-performing Tana workspace, highly recommend you check out Tana Fast Track. And for more content like this in your feed, like and subscribe to the channel.